Singapore, officially the Republic of Singapore, is a sovereign island country and city-state in maritime Southeast Asia. It lies about 1 degree of latitude, 137 kilometers or 85 miles, north of the equator, off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, bordering the Strait of Malacca to the west, the Singapore Strait to the south, the South China Sea to the east, and the Straits of Johor to the north. The country's territory is composed of one main island, 63 satellite islands and islets, and one outlying islet. The combined area of these has increased by 25% since the country's independence as a result of extensive land reclamation projects. It has the third highest population density in the world. With a multicultural population and recognizing the need to respect cultural identities of the major ethnic groups within the nation, Singapore has 4 official languages: English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil. English is the lingua franca and numerous public services are available only in English. Multiracialism is enshrined in the Constitution and continues to shape national policies in education, housing, and politics. Singapore's history dates back at least a millennium, having been a maritime emporium known as Temasek and subsequently as a major constituent part of several successive thalassocratic empires. Its contemporary era began in 1819 when Stamford Raffles established Singapore as an entrepot trading post of the British Empire. In 1867, the colonies in Southeast Asia were reorganized and Singapore came under the direct control of Britain as part of the Straits settlements. During the Second World War, Singapore was occupied by Japan in 1942 and returned to British control as a separate crown colony following Japan's surrender in 1945. Singapore gained self-governance in 1959 and in 1963 became part of the new Federation of Malaysia, alongside Malaya, North Borneo, and Sarawak. Ideological differences, most notably the perceived encroachment of the egalitarian Malaysia political ideology led by Lee Kuan Yew into the other constituent entities of Malaysia at the perceived expense of the Buma Putera, and the policies of Kechuanan Melayu eventually led to Singapore's expulsion from the Federation 2 years later. Singapore became an independent sovereign country in 1965. After early years of turbulence whilst lacking natural resources and a hinterland, the nation rapidly developed to become one of the 4 Asian tigers based on international trade and economic globalization, integrating itself within the world economy through free trade with minimal to no trade barriers or tariffs, export-oriented industrialization, and the large accumulation of received foreign direct investments, foreign exchange reserves, and assets held by sovereign wealth funds. A highly developed country, it is tied at 11th on the UN Human Development Index and has the second highest GDP per capita, PPP, in the world. Identified as a tax haven, Singapore is the only country in Asia with a AAA sovereign credit rating from all major rating agencies. It is a major aviation, financial, and maritime shipping hub, and has consistently been ranked as one of the most expensive cities to live in for expatriates and foreign workers. Singapore is placed highly in key social indicators: education, healthcare, quality of life, personal safety, infrastructure, and housing, with a home ownership rate of 88%. Singaporeans enjoy one of the longest life expectancies, fastest internet connection speeds, lowest infant mortality rates, and lowest levels of corruption in the world. Singapore is a unitary parliamentary republic with a Westminster system of unicameral parliamentary government, and its legal system is based on common law. Although the country is a multi-party democracy with free elections, the government under the People's Action Party, PAP, wields significant control and dominance over politics and society. The PAP has ruled the country continuously since full internal self-government was achieved in 1959, with 83 out of 104 seats in parliament as of the 2020 election, the rest of the seats being held by the Workers' Party, WP, and the Progress Singapore Party, PSP. One of the 5 founding members of ASEAN, Singapore is also the headquarters of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, Secretariat, the Pacific Economic Cooperation Council, PEC, Secretariat, and is the host city of many international conferences and events. Singapore is also a member of the United Nations, World Trade Organization, East Asia Summit, Non-Aligned Movement, and the Commonwealth of Nations. Wikipedia. Sentosa Island, known mononymously as Sentosa, and formerly Pulau Belakang Mati, is an island located off the southern coast of Singapore's main island. The island is separated from the main island of Singapore by a channel of water, the Keppel Harbour, and is adjacent to Pulau Brani, a smaller island wedged between Sentosa and the main island. Formerly used as a British military base and afterwards as a Japanese prisoner of war camp, the island was renamed Sentosa and was planned to be a popular tourist destination. It is now home to a popular resort that receives more than 20 million visitors per year. Attractions include a 2 kilometers (1.2 miles) long sheltered beach, Madame Tussauds Singapore, an extensive cable car network, Fort Siloso, 2 golf courses, 14 hotels, and the resort's World Sentosa, which features the Universal Studios Singapore theme park and one of Singapore's 2 casinos, the other being in Marina Bay Sands. Sentosa is also widely known as being the location of the 2018 North Korea-United States-Singapore Summit, where North Korean Chairman Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump met at the Capella Hotel located on the island. This was the first ever meeting between the leaders of North Korea and the United States. Wikipedia. Singapore was definitely one of the most interesting and beautiful places I visited for many reasons. It is extremely safe to walk around alone. The laws are strict and strictly enforced, especially laws about the treatment and safety of women. The city is extremely clean. There are street cleaners working basically 24 hours a day, keeping the city streets and alleys clean of any and all debris. The bars and clubs were great fun, great food, great drinks, great music, and great people. Sentosa Island was a photographer's dream. The beach, nature, hikes, and architecture were all in sync. I made a great Facebook friend recently, Jessica Zhua, who lives in Singapore. This music photo video is a combined project of the two of us. My visits to Singapore came with side trips to Malaysia and Indonesia, photos posted previously.